Well, hello YouTube, this is Thomas Judge back once again. We're on day 2 of my watch through of the entire MCU universe. And the second film I watched is in The Incredible Hulk, which I've literally just finished and taken out the DVD player. So let's get straight into it. What did I think? I thought it was great. I know this is a movie that often gets considered to be quite weak, and in fact one of the weakest ones in the MCU. I remember liking it when I originally saw it, mainly because I remember really enjoying the final climatic battle sequence. And in this case, going back and watching it, damn, this is a good movie. Um, where should I start? Well, the opening credits straight away. I love the fact that this doesn't actually go into the origin of the Incredible Hulk. There's nothing there about gamma bombs, or it actually uses something much more similar to the TV show starring David Banner as the main character. Um, and it sort of alludes to that. It zips through it in the credits really quickly, but it essentially assumes that you know who the Incredible Hulk is, and even if you don't, the important thing is you get what he is. Bruce Banner turns angry, turns into the Incredible Hulk. That's it. So I love the fact they cut straight to the chase on that. That was fantastic. It does really strongly rely on that prior knowledge throughout. But I think that's completely understandable for something as well established as the Incredible Hulk. And obviously they do this later again in Spider-Man, which we'll get to in like a week or so's time. Otherwise, great opener, great opening scene after the introductory credits and that whole sort of montage. I love the way that they have his tension with some of the locals, and then his tension, obviously, with the military troops that are chasing him, kind of intersect. It's brilliant, and it does a great job at building characterization. Edward Norton doesn't say very much in his role as Bruce Banner, at least for the opening scene. But nonetheless, you really get a sense of what it's like for him being on the run, working in this factory, the people that he works with, what his values are. It's just done really nicely and really well. And then to cap it off, the first time you see the Hulk, you don't actually see the Hulk. He's hidden in shadows the entire time, which is just a really good way of doing it. Don't overplay your hand. Don't be too explicit. And just loved it. I thought that was brilliant. Then we started getting into the weak stuff. And if there is one weak point in this movie, and I hate to say it, because I know everyone says this about this movie, but it is Liv Tyler. Like her Betty Ross is just terrible. It's weak from the get go. Every scene she's in where she talks or actually interacts with someone, as opposed to just being sort of like an unconscious sort of plot device rather than anything else. Any scene in which she's talking, interacting with someone is just rendered weaker by the way that she does it. Even the scene, there's a scene after the second climatic battle sequence, which is also excellent, by the way. There's even a bit after that where they're in a thunderstorm together and she's there trying to comfort the Hulk and calm him down. And she even makes that scene, which should be amazing and really powerful and poignant, she even makes that worse. Speaking of which, that second battle scene, which is sort of halfway through the movie, phenomenal. You get to see the Hulk out in broad daylight. He faces off against Tim Roth. Speaking of which, Tim Roth's character, phenomenal, amazing performance, brilliant interpretation of Emma Blonsky. Loved it. Yeah, that battle's great. One of the things actually I noticed throughout this movie is that a couple of times, 2 or 3 times, it hints and alludes quite strongly to Bruce Banner developing like a PTSD due to all the trauma and all the violence and stuff that he's facing as the Hulk. So there's some moments where he sees a light and he just thinks of muzzle flares from a gun, or he's in the shower and he just suddenly imagines like a minigun firing at him, and clearly it's like quite profoundly damaging him. And from what I recall, they don't cover this again in later movies, which is a bit of a shame because it's a really interesting thing to explore. Anyway, like I say, Liv Tyler's weak, Tim Roth excellent, the action's great, the pacing for this movie is absolutely excellent. It is so tight. I can't think of a single thing they should have removed or trimmed down or expanded. I just thought it was really, really well put together. That takes us right to the end, round 3, as it were, the third fight with the Hulk, which is where the Hulk fights the Abomination, and this is a perfect finale. Oh my god, it is just as good as I remember. It's exactly what you want. You want two monsters throwing down in a city, throwing cars at each other, beating the hell out of each other, helicopters, explosions, the whole thing. The sort of movie Michael Bay's been trying to make for his entire career and failed. And this was it in a brilliant, brilliant finale. And the final part of the battle, unlike Iron Man, which I watched yesterday, where it had the usual Marvel cop-out of blow up, big thing, big light, clouds in the sky, electricity, someone gets knocked out. None of that nonsense here. Hulk goes and just beats the hell out of the Abomination and eventually almost chokes him to death with a length of chain. It's phenomenal. It's down and dirty. It's exactly the sort of violence and exactly the sort of cartoon, over the top comic violence that you need for a fight like this. Um, so overall, what did I think of the movie? I thought it was great. Really enjoyed it. Thought it was brilliant. I thought Edward Norton, in my mind, is a better Bruce Banner than Mark Ruffalo is going to be later on. And actually, I just love the aesthetic of this movie. The aesthetic of the Hulk they have here is noticeably different from the way the Hulk looks in the later MCU, because this one's based on Edward Norton, the later one is a CGI version of Mark Ruffalo. And to be honest, I hugely prefer the aesthetic here. The Hulk here looks so much better, looks so much meaner. The Abomination too. Oh my god! Imagine Doomsday on steroids. This looks absolutely fantastic. The CGI holds up really well. There's a couple of points where it does look a little bit dated, I will confess. But amidst all of it, I'm more than happy to let that go. Um, yeah, I just thought it was great, and I'll probably come back to it again at some point. But I really think it's a shame that they didn't bring the Abomination back into it in a later movie. I mean, where is he? Where has Shield put him? They stuck him on the raft. Is he in the cube? Like where is he? That they haven't used him for a later movie and haven't brought him out as some kind of military asset. Similarly, the leader gets hinted at in this movie. It would be great to see him later on. But yeah, overall, great movie. Loved it. Super tight. Everything about it was excellent, barring everything about Liv Tyler, which was just weak. I really wish they'd gone for a more sort of sassy, robust Betty Ross character. A little bit like Evangeline Lilly playing the Wasp in the later movies, which is a brilliant character from what I remember. Liv Tyler is like the opposite of that. However, I do like The Incredible Hulk. I thought this was great. I would highly recommend watching it in your watch through. And tomorrow we'll be checking out the next thing, which I believe is Iron Man 2. So as always, please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think about this video and this quick run through, and please let me know how you're doing if you're watching these videos as well. How are you getting on the lockdown? And as always, please support the channel by heading over to Amazon and picking up my episodic prose novel, which will be free or 99 cents depending on how you log in. So thanks very much, and until tomorrow, guys, stay classy.